here. Welcome back to Gipsyrosepaperie. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the little fairy at the bottom right hand corner so you can subscribe. And if you're not new, welcome back to the Paper Gypsy tribe. So today I am going to do a flip through with this ginormous journal. This is what the entire length of it looks like, or rather height. So I'll leave it like this for a little bit while I explain it all. So this is for one of the organized swaps that I am hosting on my group, Alternative Junk Journals. If you guys are not familiar with alternative junk journals, I will link it down in the description box. We just kind of like oddball kind of stuff. And you don't have to have like an oddball sort of style. It could be any journal, we don't exclude, but just knowing going in that you're going to see a lot of these types of journals when you go in there. So this organized swap is a dark fantasy / fairy tale swap. So the specifications are usually pretty open. I really want you to use kind of like your creativity and not feel restricted by very kind of specific design elements. So basic cover was 9x6. It had to have at least 15 pages folded, which would equal 30 pages or 60 writing sides. You can add bags and all that. Just know that that's not going to be part of your final count of pages. You had to have at least 15 pieces of ephemera. You could do more if you'd like. The book structure was going to be a soft cover, or is a soft cover. But that wasn't really set in stone, so some people really wanted to do a hardcover. That's fine. Some people wanted to do ring bound. That's fine, as long as it's 9x6. The dimensions were pretty set. And then as far as the theme, like I said, it was really open to interpretation. What is dark fantasy, fairy tale to you? Obviously it had to have some kind of dark element, because it is a dark fairy tale. So we're looking at kind of like themes and fairy tales that are kind of glossed over a little bit. So a lot of the grim fairy tales were sort of made nice and happy, so that they could be cartoons for children in the form of Disney movies. But if you read some of the older, like the original manuscripts that were true to the interpretation and the translation, they were pretty darn dark. So for example, I'm just going to give you one. Cinderella in the Disney version. Cinderella is a poor soul who is mistreated by her family, and this beautiful fairy godmother shows up and gives her everything she needs to get the prince, and she loses her glass shoe, and the glass shoe is then the way the prince finds his way back to her. So in the book, it was kind of like the same, except the glass shoe, for those girls that were trying to get their foot crammed into the glass shoe, the way the prince knew that it wasn't the right girl is because the glass shoe sliced and diced her foot into a bloody mess. So if he saw blood running down the lady's foot, then it wasn't Cinderella. So that's just an example of kind of like a darker theme within, you know, the fairy tale. I love seeing everybody's creativity. It's been such a blast seeing everybody get their books together and kind of make it their own. So I won't keep blabbing. I'll just jump right in. I focused it on one character, and that would be Maleficent. And now I can turn the book over. I had this fabric, which reminded me of Angelina Jolie's costume in the movie. So it's like a crocodile reptilian type fabric. And then down here I kind of cut the fabric off in a slant, because in the cartoon, when she lifts up her arms, you know, she's got those dramatic bell sleeves. So that's what that reminded me of. And then I just added some lace just for texture. The cover is pretty self-explanatory. I did a black feather, which is a tribute to her raven that she kind of uses to help her get her schemes put together. And just some roses because of Sleeping Beauty. Her name is Bar Rose, blah, blah, blah. So just trying to tie it all together. the digitals that I used in here, thank you to everyone who gave me their suggestions. I used digital Curio. They just had everything. Like, she didn't call it a Sleeping Beauty kit, but it could have been because it literally had everything I needed. So in the front, the inside is covered in fabric, and I hate when the glue dries. There we go. It's a fabric inside cover with a lace pocket. And obviously I have the obligatory, this book belongs to, a little book marker there. And then you'll see a lot of these vintage type gargoyle pictures, and these are the gargoyles of Notre Dame. And the reason I included the gargoyles is because in the movie those are her little minions, and they sort of are trying to help her find where Sleeping Beauty is being hidden. So on the journaling cards I did sewing detail all around, and then I did spray them. You'll see like this kind of spraying, and that is a tribute, like a little underhanded tribute to the fairies, because one of my favorite parts of the movie besides Maleficent is the little fairies. I especially love the scene where they're trying to get her birthday stuff together, and they like start doing color fighting, like make it blue, make it pink, make it blue, make it pink. Well, I say make it purple. So that's what I did. I made everything purple. So you'll see a lot of those spray splotches everywhere. This paper is so beautiful. This is from Digital Curio. And then, oh, that's one page. I forget, these pages are so thick. The other side, all the Digital Curio, I backed onto a Book of Shadows paper from Screech Owl Studios, which I will also link. This is some paper. It's from that Haunted Manor paper stack that Michaels came out with during Halloween. I just did some textiles there with some roses and some green tulle. And then I have a lot of, well, basically mostly all of Mrs. Cog's Dragons kit that she so graciously sent over. And it just went perfect in here because obviously another big theme in that Disney movie is that Maleficent turns into a dragon at the end. And so here I took a piece of that grimoire paper and I just kind of ruffled it up, and I hand lettered the spindle needle curse, which is the curse where she proclaims over the baby that, you know, when the baby turns 16, she is going to prick her finger on the spinning needle. So that is that. And then again, perfect friggin' paper from Digital Curio. It's like dragons on green background. And here I used an extra piece of the cover fabric, and I just did a little black rose on some burgundy lace. And here we have a very ferocious looking dragon. And then all the pages from the book that I included in here, like how gorgeous is that image? I sewed around it and I kind of made it into a makeshift envelope, but you can use it for whatever you'd like. It doesn't have to be kept in envelope form. Again, this paper is life. Oh my goodness, that is just perfect. And then I don't know if I am in frame, but I put some lace textiles at the bottom there. I'll try to even it out there. Okay. I used a lot of crows in here because in the movie version and in the Disney movie version, the animated film, the crow or the raven is obviously her sidekick. So the crow feather, and then this here, and then the movie, I think his name is Diaval, and Diaval is able to shapeshift into whatever animal she needs. So I wanted to keep it more of the Disney though, so that's why I was thinking of putting more animals in here, but then I was like, let's keep it to like one central theme. So mostly focused on obviously the Disney movie. So we have some beautiful rose trim there, and another page from the book, and this is obviously Sleeping Beauty about to prick her finger. And some coffee dyed glassine bags. Some more of that gorgeous, gorgeous paper. And then this one is one of my fave papers. It's like dragons and roses in a damask type pattern. So pretty. And we have the raven. And then here I have a villains coloring book. And I bought it like literally 2 years ago and I have not used it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use it in here. So we have Maleficent. And then we have the dragon. And then on the other side, this is going to make you guys laugh. So on the other side was a totally different villain. And so to kind of cover that up, I used this gorgeous like burgundy embroidery fabric. And it's Ursula. And so then the whole time I was making this book, I ended up listening to the Little Mermaid soundtrack. And then I was like, oh dang, I should have totally made this book an Ursula book, but retrospect. I have a Sleeping Beauty playing card, and you can see where, hopefully, you can see where there's Maleficent and then the dragon and just all the characters from the movie. And some more dragons here, and then another Notre Dame gargoyle. And I got really into like researching gargoyles. I mean, I have a love for gargoyles in general. I just think the sculptors just really went for it. Like the mannerisms and the grotesqueness of their features. And in all, if you read up on it, basically they're drains. So the water flows through their back and then out their mouths to keep the water away from the actual structure of the church. And then more superstitious folks think that, you know, believe that they are put there as a safeguard to the church to keep evil spirits away. And so that's why they're so grotesque. So a little history for you on gargoyles. And then here is another digital Curio digi, and it just had like the coolest wording. It's like poison and cures and pain, and it's almost like, it almost reads like a spell. So I was like, oh, I gotta use this in here. So we have some more paper here, another blessing bag, and then we have another awesome image from that book. Do I have that book? So that way you guys can see. It is this book here. So it's pretty tattered, but it's got some really good images in here. So this is what it's called, in case anybody wanted to find it. So some more paper. I also had a dragon book, and so I put some dragon stuff in here. And then in the back it had like a knight's armor, which I thought was perfect because Prince Philip, hello, right? Fighting knight's armor. So I make connections very easily, as you can tell. Some more textile, another black rose with that green tulle. And here is a prince slaying a dragon, another gargoyle, and then another hand-lettered spell. And this is the one where she figures out that the fairies got Prince Philip out of her dungeon. And so they're making their way to the castle. So this is the curse that she casts on the castle. So like the thorn bushes grow all around and he can't get through. So that is that one. Some more gorgeous paper here. I didn't have anything that looked like thorns, and I wasn't going to draw it because that would have ruined the book. But this is from 7 Gypsies, and it is a repositionable sticker. So you could stick stuff under it and then lay it over. And that's the middle of the signature. And here we have some more of those textiles. And here we have a dragon crawling out of his lair. Another dragon being slain by a boy. And another gargoyle. That's the other side of that dragon book. Some more repositionable thorns. Another glassine bag that I put this really sort of extra piece of lace so it could kind of fan out and stick out. And then here we have another fantastic image. These images are just great. So there she is with her Diaval turned into a wolf. But this all made me like really want to make a nurse book. Here we have the cure and ammonia and like just a lot of weird sort of words. So I just thought that was perfect. And then we have this. And then this doily here is a big old pocket. And we have 2 gargoyles. But you could stick a lot more in there, I'm sure. And then I wanted this to kind of fan out too. And that's the other side of the dragon on the Maleficent coloring page. Another bag, and this is young Maleficent. So from the movie, so she was a fairy, and so this is her still with her wings. Oh, and I sprayed most of these too on the back just to add a little extra pizzazz and leftover thorns. Here we have some black roses, and we have multiple dragons all kind of crawling out of the same tree. Another prince or boy battling a dragon, and another Sleeping Beauty playing card. And then here I secured this gargoyle journaling card with a needle. Get it? So don't prick your finger on there. I just thought that was cute. Kind of cheeky, if you will. And then more of that gorgeous dragon paper. And then here's just some textile, and it's a little, let's see if you can see it. It is a little raven faux wax seal. And here we have a dragon being slain by other animals. A dragon carrying a maiden away. And a gargoyle eating something's head. I don't know what that is. Scare those evil spirits away. And that is the end. And then here we have another boy slaying a dragon. Here is another slaying of the dragon. And here we have an excellent image. It's a side profile of Maleficent. And then I had these buttons that had numbers, and I just thought it was cute, kind of like an invitation to Sleeping Beauty's 16th birthday, because that is where she had her finger pricked and the spell took effect. And then I signed it and dated it on my little label there. And so these all go in here. And that is the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. You can, the feather is not glued all the way, so you can kind of brush it and play with it. It's really fun and soft. That is my Maleficent journal for the Dark Fairy Tale swap on alternative junk journals. And if you're not a member, then go down in my description box and join, because we are super fun and you're missing out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you so much, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.